I just wanted to talk about the upcoming Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, and I just wanted to encourage all of you to attend if you possibly can. And then I also just wanted to explain why I won't be there. So if you're not familiar with the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, or as we normally call it, the RTR for short, it is an event put on in Quartzsite, Arizona every January by a gentleman named Bob Wells. Now, Bob is a longtime nomad, and he has a website and a YouTube channel called Cheap RV Living. Bob is a great ambassador for nomads, and he likes to share all of his knowledge and information with all of us. So the event is free. You just have to show up. Every morning, Bob will put on seminars and give little lectures, and really that's kind of the basis of the event, is just to give us all of the knowledge that's in Bob's head. And that is a lot. Bob knows everything there is to know about being a nomad and living in a van. And so for that reason, if you're considering being a nomad, I really encourage you to go to the RTR. Now, I attended my first RTR earlier this year in 2017. And while I had been living in my van for 10 months at that point, attending the RTR for me was a huge turning point kind of in my van life. And I say that not because I learned a whole lot of tips and tricks, and I don't mean that in a bad way. The thing about the RTR and the lectures that Bob gives every morning, all of that information you can find on Bob's website, cheaprvliving.com. You can also find it right here on YouTube, Cheap RV Living YouTube channel. You're not going to get any new information by going to the RTR that you wouldn't be able to find on Bob's sites here. But for me, why it was really so great for me to attend was just the community aspect of knowing that there are a lot of other people out there that are doing the same exact thing as I'm doing. The event is about 2 weeks away from now. I really encourage you to go. The tips and tricks you'll get, you're probably going to pick up a few, but you're probably going to find that there's a lot of people that are exactly like you out there. I was surprised to find that there were other people that worked a regular 40-hour work week but lived in a van. And, that's kind of underrepresented here on YouTube. And it's really part of why I kind of continued on with my channel here. I intended to make a couple of videos and that was it. And, I'm still making videos because I think that it's important to kind of show people a different way. And that is really Bob's view as well. He wants to show you a different way to live. It could be a better way to live for you. So even if you're not a nomad now, if you're just considering being a nomad, it's a great time to go. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me if they're allowed to go to the RTR if they don't have a camper van or RV. The event is absolutely open for everybody. All you need to do is go. When I was there in January, I saw people not only in camper vans, which was the most of us were in camper vans, but there were a lot of RVs, there were a lot of converted school buses, there were even people in tents sleeping out in the ground, and even some people that just slept in their car. So you don't need to have anything special to go, you just need the desire to go. And you are absolutely welcome. But if you do feel a bit odd by going without a camper van. You certainly could rent a camper van. There are a few companies that I know of that rent camper vans in Southern California. There's one in North San Diego County called Vancraft. There's another company called Juicy Camper Vans. And there's also a company called Escape Camper Vans, I believe. So if you wanted to have a full-on experience, you could contact one of these companies and see if they have vans available and just drive one out to the event. Another thing you could do is you could rent a van, just a regular old van. Throw a sleeping bag in the back and you'd get kind of a better idea of just what it is that we do and how we kind of live. That's one of my things is that I encourage people to do is just to rent a van for a weekend or a week or two if they can, and camp out. Just get used to the kind of space and the size that we have to work with every day. It's really not that bad. Even me here in the small van, it's really very easy, but you're not going to know that until you give it a try. But if you do go, you certainly don't need to have your own van or RV. Really, everybody is just happy to have you there. So for me, the best thing about the RTR was getting to meet friends that live the same way that I do, more or less. And then, of course, I made a lot of friends. I got to meet Adventure Van Man there. I met Caravan Carolyn there for the first time. I met Dave 2D and, my friend Bigfoot. So Bigfoot does exist. He really does. But my point is that for me, I didn't really go to get tips and tricks about how to build my van, but I went to meet people. And that was kind of the biggest thing for me, was just getting to meet other like-minded people that were kind of doing the same thing that I was. And it was also the point where I started to call myself a nomad. I didn't call myself a nomad until I attended the RTR in January. I thought since I worked a 40-hour work week and just, this was my home instead of a traditional house, that I wasn't a real nomad. But I think attending the RTR just really kind of set things a little bit more clearly in my head, in that, nomad is actually the right term for me and what I do. And that there are a lot more people out there just like me. We are very underrepresented, those of us that work a regular 40-hour work week, but live in a van, So that was an important thing. And that is one big reason why I say, if you can possibly go, you need to go. You will enjoy it. You will be welcomed by everybody there, and you will have a great time, without a doubt. So it would be worth your while to drive all the way out into the Arizona desert, at least in my opinion. Now, as far as why I am not going to go, unfortunately, I had expected to be there this year. I was really working my schedule around getting back down south and being at the RTR this year. Unfortunately, I am quite far away. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 miles. The other thing is, it looks as though I might be hired on to the company that I'm working for. So that would mean I would not be a temp anymore, not be a temp worker anymore, and I would be hired directly by the company that I have been doing the work for. It would mean a pay raise, it would mean a little bit more stability for me, and that is really my focus. I like to travel. I want to do some travel, but I've got lots of places to travel that are close to me here in the Seattle area, and so it makes a lot of sense for me to stay here right now, especially because the job is just so good and they treat me so well. And the pay raise would be nice too. It would be nice to get some bills paid off. That was really the whole point with me moving into the van in the first place, was to get bills paid off and to get, have life be a little bit easier. So unfortunately, I won't be there. Hopefully next year I'll have some vacation time and I'll be able to work it out. We'll just take it 1 year at a time, and I hope to be back because the RTR really meant a lot for me, and so I think it would be beneficial for everybody that is either a nomad already or contemplating being a nomad. So if you go, let me know how it was, and say hello to everybody for me, and I will talk to you all soon.